The plan is to go through the businesses chronologically from when they joined the group, so hopefully that will also take you on a little bit of a journey of MBH and what MBH has gone through over the past 18 months or so since it's listed. So I'll start with myself, so you don't have to listen to me much longer. So I'm your host, Vikki Sylvestor, and my company, Acacia Training, joined MBH in 2018. So we were a family business originally. We established in 2000, and we deliver and have continued to deliver during that time UK-based education, specifically around apprenticeships, advanced learner loans and European social funds. We deliver in mostly health and social care, dental nursing, sport, beauty, and have expanded our sectors over the past 5 years. So at the end of 2019, our turnover was around 5 million and our EBIT was 603,000, and we have grown since we've been in the group. Our main focus as a business, we have a two-strand strategic plan. One's focusing on organic growth and the second one focuses on tactical acquisitions that in turn are forming part of that organic growth. So reasons we joined was we really wanted that platform for growth, and also a big part for us was being the collaborative working between like-minded people and like-minded entrepreneurs, all with a common goal. We'd also wanted to benefit from access to resource across the businesses, buying power and tendering opportunities, working within that collaborative environment. Creation of opportunities for our team. So our team is a well-established team, and being part of the group, we were hitting a ceiling. We wanted to create avenues for those. And since being in the group, we have involved them in a share participation scheme. It was a very flexible deal structure, so meeting the different needs of the board at the time. And one of the most important things to us was that we retain our autonomy and who we are and how we operate in the decisions that are made in the business, and what have made it successful today. So our biggest value since we joined, there's so many to choose from. It's been such an amazing couple of years. But the three key ones that stand out for Acacia really is the tactical acquisition strategy, because this is something that just would have been so difficult as an independent company. Collaborative working with all these amazing people and companies in the group, and our autonomy, as I said before. So that's a little bit about Acacia Training. I will stop my share. And then first of all, I'll hand over to Alan Pressland. So Alan is the CEO of Parenta Group. And Parenta, Acacia and Cape all came into MBH when it listed right at the start of the journey. So if I can hand over to you, Alan.
Yeah, thank you, Vikki. So good afternoon, everybody. Very brief introduction to Parenta. So Parenta is a company which works in the early years space, in the childcare space, mostly looking at nurseries. And we focus very much on how we can assist nurseries. Oops, sorry, I've gone back one too many, forgive me. How we can assist nurseries on improving their business. So I wrote the book, Improving the Business of Childcare, a few years ago. And effectively, our business is structured around that book. So it looks at multiple ways in which we can help anybody who's in the childcare sector, but particularly nurseries, in making sure that their business is successful. And that's particularly important in this sector. Those who've come into the sector from a commercial background tend to be very successful. Those who've grown up within the sector and have come up from the floor tend to struggle slightly. And so the book and the work that we do with our customers very much is about helping them understand how to make their business successful and how to make it grow and develop. We're the largest provider of vocational training, or apprenticeships if you prefer, within the early years sector. We're the largest provider of nursery management software and the largest independent collector of nursery fees. And that's a really interesting one. You know, everybody understands what vocational training is and what software is, but most nurseries are unable to get direct debit facilities, and hence we collect their fees on their behalf. And that's a really nice little project that works well for most nurseries. We've been going for about 21 years, and we are working with about 1/3 of the UK nursery sector. So if we talk about nurseries, there are about 18,000 nurseries in England. That number hasn't varied significantly over the last 4 or 5 years. It was growing prior to that, but over the last 4 or 5 years, funding has been a big issue within the sector, and it's remained relatively static. What's interesting, though, is 90% of all nurseries in the UK are owner managed, so they're mom and pop type operations, with only 10% of the sector being PE or VC led. Equally importantly, there's about 15,500 early years teachers trained annually. We train about 2,200 to 2,500, but of the 18,000 nurseries with all the additional products we have, we actually work, as I said, with about 1/3 of them, about 6,000 or so. And then for the reasons for coming into MBH were firstly, clearly to grow and to grow faster. We've been successful with our growth, but we wanted to look at bolt-on acquisitions. We haven't found anything to date which really works for us, but we're actively seeking that right opportunity. And we feel it's more important to find the right acquisition for us. Secondly, was about value, and particularly value creation for the shareholders of Parenta. Been involved in the project for a long time, and it was important to be able to extract some value. But thirdly, and perhaps most importantly, and I think this is the point that Vikki touched on, for us it was very much about collaborative working. It's tough at the top. Running an SME is always a tough gig for anybody. Having an ability to engage with people who have similar values, who are in similar positions, to us was really, really important. And I think that's a key aspect of why we want to be part of the MBH team. So that's it for me. I'll hand back to you, Vikki, unless there are any questions.
Thanks, Alan.
Pleasure.
That's great. No questions have come through at the moment, but I think they'll probably come through towards the end, so I'll signpost them your way as they come through. But thank you for that. That was a really insightful look into Parenta and understanding Parenta. So the next presentation we've got is from Dave Howes. Now, Dave Howes is the principal for Cape. Cape are based over in New Zealand, and currently it is nearly 2:15 in the morning for Dave. So he very kindly sent us a video to share. So I will share that on his behalf. Hopefully we will be in a position one day to have Dave in person.
In 2005, early 2005, in Auckland, New Zealand, as a commercial and retail fit-out contractor. The retail and commercial fit-out formed 90% of our business until the GFC. When that market tightened up, we diversified and started doing commercial refurbishments and seismic upgrades following the Christchurch earthquake. We've done projects nationwide, North and South Island, as well as 2 hotel refurbishments in Fiji. We've also set up a maintenance division which services our clients' needs once we've handed projects over to them. We currently have 28 full-time staff, and last year we had turnover of 50 million New Zealand dollars. We've got quite a large, well-established client base. We tend to get quite a lot of repeat business from clients, and we've been established in the Auckland market for quite a while now. We joined MBH very early on in the piece as one of the founder companies. We believed there would be synergies with similar businesses in New Zealand and Australia and the Pacific Basin that we could piggyback off. We also saw it as an opportunity to grow and develop Cape as a business and to get some large company backing and access to funds for bonds and for funding larger projects. We've also believe it's a good way to get our staff involved, and we have a scheme whereby we issue MBH shares to our staff on an annual basis.
So that's a little insight into CAPE, and as I say, hopefully next time we'll all be prepared to get up at 2 o'clock in the morning so we can include Dave in person over from New Zealand. So thank you for that, Dave. I'm sure you'll watch this video after. So next I'd like to go over to Gary Lamb. So Gary's from Boulay Contracts. Boulay came in towards the back end of 2018, following the listing in the August. So Gary, if I can hand over to you, tell us a little bit about Boulay and how your journey's been since being in the group. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I'll start the screen share very quickly. So hi everyone, I'm the principal for Boulay Contracts. We are based in Southwest London. We got involved in the business in 2018 where the founders David Boulay and David Budd were deciding to retire. If you are in the landscape of London, if you go to the likes of Fortnum and Mason, visit Harrods, visit the Ivy or the Groucho Club, Boulay have been a part of fitting out those high-end establishments. If you ever plan to meet David Boulay, he will walk you through a lot of the fit-out projects as well. We are very proud of what has been delivered so far. And we believe in transforming a lot of places into stunning environments. And I guess this is one of the pictures of the recent delivery of the projects and the other projects we have delivered. We are in hotel fit outs, we are in leisure sector and in restaurants as well. We joined in December 2018. The business started and was founded in 1975, and it was established on Companies House in the 85. Before that, Mr. Boulay was doing projects with odd bins and so on and so forth. That's how the journey started. So the business has been going on for over 4 decades. So it has got a very strong history and a very strong foundation. It was a family business in the beginning, and right now it still stands as a very tight-knit team, very involved. The turnover as of December 2019 is circa 10 million. I say circa because of the audits and stuff. The numbers, we had to come in line with the MBH audit numbers, and the EBIT is 250K. And I think to touch up on the reasons for joining MBH, and you will hear that a lot in before me and after me as well. It gives us as small businesses a great platform for growth. And one of the best examples would be the tendering opportunities it has opened for us for bigger tenders has been unprecedented, where we couldn't have gone with the confidence earlier for the projects. Now we can point to a bigger balance sheet, and then obviously for us, collaboration has been key as well, and strength is in the numbers, as it says as well. And it's a great platform for us as entrepreneurs to come together, discuss problems, opportunities, ideas. We are working with Guildprime and Gaysha, who you'll be hearing to Kevin and Ian in the future as well, as to how we can buy in bulk or do some contracts in bulk and learn from each other's strengths. And yeah, that's me.
Thank you. That's fabulous. Thank you. And great to see some of the images there. I know quite a few of us in the group have already visited some of Boulay's work, which is it's just incredible to see. So thank you for that. So next into the group came Kevin Potter, and Kevin is the CEO of Guildprime. Guildprime joined us in early 2019. So if I could hand over to you, Kevin, to tell us all a little bit about Guildprime.
Hi everybody. Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Kevin Potter. I'm the founder and CEO of Guildprime Specialist Contracts Limited. So Guildprime was formed in 1985, where we were predominantly producing high-end furniture, bespoke furniture. Today, Guildprime produces finest complete fit-out services to many sectors. including retail, commercial, offices, residential, hospitality, health and education. Guildprime is a high-end fit-out company. We're based in Essex in the UK. We work across Europe and the UK for some of the finest blue-chip retail brands, Premier League football clubs, sporting venues, five-star hotels, restaurants, world-renowned architects and some of the world's top designers, as well as some affluent private individuals. Guildprime, we joined MBH really to help us to grow. We're being asked by many of our new and existing clients to tender for some larger and larger projects. But as our turnover wasn't always, in their eyes, sufficient, we found that Guildprime was being excluded from the tender process. Now that we're part of MBH, we're tendering for and winning much larger projects. So this is a typical Guildprime project. This is a flagship store for Michael Kors on Regent Street. It was about a 9-month project. It was turnkey, so we was given a concrete shell and we turned it into the flagship store it is today. It's a £7 million project, and they're a good client of ours. So this is a sort of a who's of some of the finest retail brands across the world, and we've worked for many of these for 20 years plus, and continue to do so, as well as some of the, as I mentioned earlier, some of the top 100 designers in the world are our long-standing clients. Yeah, well, thank you for listening, everybody, and we're happy to answer any questions later on. Thank you.
Looking at those shops, it gets you in the mood for shopping again, for sure. They look absolutely incredible. So thank you for that. So next into the group came Ian Elsey from Gaysha. Ian's the CEO over there, and Gaysha joined just coming into the spring, moving into the summer of 2019. So Ian, are you okay to share all about Gaysha and your journey so far?
Okay. Hi, so I'm Ian, the original founder of Gaysha, a construction company set up in '97, a long journey of organic growth to the point of the figure of 9 million turnover when we was recommended through Gary Lamb to MBH. We had spent years in the refurbishment sector in London, and in 2012 was lucky enough to land some framework 5-year contracts with some clients. We employ 25 full-time staff and have a supply chain partnership with 100 guys that we grow, manage and support through our work. We cover commercial, residential and industrial, and our clients that we work for collaboratively and have contracts with are on the bottom of the sheet. So we've got commercial, residential works we predominantly do in Victoria and London. We carry out these works for the same clients time after time. Yeah, but why I joined MBH was for years we've been looking for a growth platform, and we tried business partners, and every time we ended up running, the guys ran out of steam. So with MBH, it's like joining a family, a business family, and that's why we joined, for collaborative working and to grow a business. We have learned through this journey to do tactical acquisitions, and that's our next growth journey for the business. It's been a great education for Gaysha, and yeah, we look forward to increasing shareholder value going forward.
Well done, well done. Thanks for that, especially when there's technical issues. There's nothing worse. No, it was great, thank you. And you covered your slides, absolutely fine, no problem. Thanks, Ian, that's absolutely great, thank you. So next, I will move over to one of our tactical acquisitions, which is Ben Tomlin from UK Sports. So UK Sports joined us towards the autumn of 2019. So I shall get Ben's slides up. There we go.
Perfect.
Thanks, Ben.
That's all right. Hello, everyone. So we're UK Sports Training. We're a training provider, established in 2012. So 2 years will be a decade. So looking forward to that. Our HQ is in Essex, hence the accent. It's actually my posh voice, so imagine talk to me outside of this soon. So we deliver personal trainer and sports massage therapy qualifications. This is via blended learning, so home study plus practical delivery. We're a low risk green status centre. What that means is we've been audited from the awarding bodies for the past sort of 7-8 years, and we've maintained that top status. So after year one, that's when we granted it. We've maintained it for 7 years since, and that's even when we've changed staff and and grown as a company. So we're with Active IQ and Focus Awards. They're the 2 regulators in the industry, and we've got a team of 6, 3 full-time and 3 part-time staff. So as I said, we're based in Essex. We've got 2 main sites here in Romford and Southend. We did add a new site in London in 2019 in London Bridge. We are scaling from August, so we're going UK wide. So we're looking at the sort of M62 corridor in the UK. So we are on a nice bit of growth at the minute. Next slide, please, Vic. So we deliver via e-learning and Zoom calls, and we have pre and recorded webinars. So pre-recorded webinars before they start their course, and then live ones during. We do practical workshops at places like David Lloyd, so across Essex. We've got lovely facilities that we work from, and it helps people studying from home with the current climate, if you like, so they can't get into gyms, so they can carry on studying with this delivery method. Next slide. So while we joined MBH, the agglomeration model allows us to scale. So we joined people like Vikki and Acacia in the education department, who they're much bigger companies than us. So we're just learning from them, really. So we're a nice small business at the minute. We're probably one of the smallest in the group. But being around these companies and just watching some of the people talking in, was really inspiring. So the support structure around us, we just wouldn't have if we remained independent. So, but we keep our identity, which we like. So we're still us, but we're part of this bigger picture, if you like. And joining the group already, we've gained an extra sort of 500k contract. That's bigger than our turnover last year. So we are growing. We've found an additional tutor for the network already, which has managed us to open up a new site in Newcastle. And we've got sort of a newfound confidence that we can catch and match the companies ahead of us and then sort of exceed and lead them. If you put things in rhyme, there's more chance of happening. So we added that at the bottom, putting it out to the universe. The EBIT, so it was about 50k last year. But to give you an idea, from August to December, that 5-month period, we're sort of on the track to beat it just for half a year, if you like. So we're well ahead of last year's. Obviously, at the end of July, we can compare year to year. I do think we're going to sort of smash that 48k to pieces. So we're doing all right. We're growing. We're still small, but being around everyone here, I think we can grow each year.
And to be fair, you joined the back end of 2019, so you've literally been in 6 or 7 months. So to have doubled in 6 or 7 months, I think that's pretty incredible. And well done to you guys over there at UK Sports.
Well, thank you.
So next, if I could move to Vikki Smith. So Vikki Smith is the principal over at Samuel Hobson House, which is a care home based in Stoke-on-Trent. So Vikki, can I hand over to you?
So we're Samuel Hobson House Limited, and we are a care home based in Staffordshire. The home was built in 2009, and it's specifically designed for dementia-type illness and elderly frail care. Samuel is registered for 30 years and is regulated by the Care Quality Commission. At House, we dedicate ourselves to providing high quality care for residents at all times, and a home where the residents feel safe, cared for and content. We care for residents over the age of 65, and we aim to provide them with a fulfilling life and a healthy lifestyle. So the reasons why we joined MBH, the care sector is a vast and diverse sector in the UK, and the growth and demand to meet the increased ageing population. So by joining MBH, it's allowed Samuel Hobson House to review its goals, which are to continue to provide a high standard service, and as well as exploring further opportunities in this growing market to meet the future demand. And we've especially found that with the unfortunate COVID that's happened, we have found that there is definitely more need for care services out there. So since joining, we've only been a part of MBH since January this year, 10th of Jan, but we're really pleased to be a part of MBH. And as a business, it's been a fantastic move for us to be a part of the agglomeration model. It has brought benefits to our organisation. We still have our own identity. We have had full occupancy since joining, and we're now in a position to look at future ventures. But as many of before me have said, it allows us to collaborate, share experiences, gain advice and support from one another. That's it, Vikki. Thank you.
So next into the group was Robinson's Caravans. So I'd like to introduce you to Paul Seabridge.
Yeah, sure. Hi. So I'll just share my screen. There we go. So I got involved in Robinson's Caravans in the summer of 2019, last year. Robinson's was it's the oldest caravan retail business in England. It was established in the 1960s by the Robinson's family, and it had gone through 2 generations of the Robinson family. Last year we saw annual sales just shy of 19 million, and we sold just over 1,200 new and used caravans here in the UK. We have 2 sites in Chesterfield and Worksop in the East Midlands. Just to give you a bit of an insight into the market, caravan and camping industry contributes more than 6 billion to the economy and employs about 130,000 people in the UK. And caravan has become quite an important contributor to UK tourism. There's about 2 billion spent on caravan holidays in the UK in 2018. That's about 50 million nights in caravans each year. And then there's just some stats there that give you an idea of sort of the size of the market. There's over 500,000 touring caravans. 98% of them are sold in the UK, and 365,000 caravan holiday homes and 225,000 motorhomes. And what's particularly interesting about the motorhome side of the business is that it's a really growing sector. New registrations of motorhomes has almost doubled since 2012 to 2018, with 14,000 new motorhome registrations in 2018. So caravans are a very popular leisure accommodation vehicle. And in terms of why we joined MBH, we got involved in the business in 2019, and we see the world of sort of caravan and motorhome retailing as a very fragmented market. There are a lot of operators, a lot of family-owned businesses in this space, and it's particularly difficult, I think, for a small or medium-sized business to really scale in this sector. And I think where we see the value of joining MBH and what we've seen so far since we joined in March is it's a real collaborative way of working with other like-minded entrepreneurs, and it's a really great platform, I think, to enable us to grow. And we're currently looking at a number of acquisitions in this space to bring together a number of retailers operating in this market. And I think it's MBH for me really stands for championing entrepreneurship, working with those like-minded individuals. So it's been whilst it's only been a short period of time that we've been part of MBH, I think we're almost 3 months in now. It's been a great experience so far.
And I'm sure we'll all be having caravans by the time we've all finished with MBH, so thanks for that. And last and by no means least, I'd like to welcome our newest member to the team, which is Diane Woodhall from Logistica Training. Go easy, Logistica have been with us for 2 weeks, so Diane's been incredibly busy over the past couple of weeks, so I'm really grateful for you joining us today, Diane, to be able to share a little bit about Logistica at such short notice as well. So
afternoon everybody. Yes, week 2. My name's Diane and I'm the Managing Director now for Logistica under the MBH banner. So it all started way back in May 2017. I had no staff, no contract and nothing to deliver but an idea. I set out to specialise in the health and social care sector, to deliver high quality and high volume training using the skills support for the workforce funding stream, which is under the European Social Funding banner. I spent 2 months preparing to launch Logistica, choosing suitable qualifications for the sector, designing my own workbooks because I wasn't keen on the workbooks that you buy off the shelf. I wanted to do something a little bit bespoke. I had to gain awarding body approval. I had to design the delivery model for the sector because I didn't want to do online e-portfolio learning. I wanted to do it in small groups, traditionally actually in the homes. I recruited all my own staff and I trained them. And I even carried out initial employer sales visits to get the company off the ground. So we started in July of 2017 with a contract for 136k, that was just in Derbyshire and Nottinghamshire. And we ended up delivering over 3.1 million across this area, along with Lancashire, Somerset and Devon, quite spread out geographical areas to start off with. But when you're offered a contract and you're a new company, I grabbed it and we went with it. So in just 13 months, we've got an EBIT of 1.9 million, which I still pinch myself today on what we achieved in such a short space of time. For the future, yes, I know it's week 2, but this has given us the opportunity, I feel, to bid for bigger contracts now. And we've shown our contractual primes that we can move into different occupational areas. So I will now be sort of pitching and bidding for contracts in different occupational sectors. I do see a synergy with Acacia. Myself and Vikki have met up already, and we already see things where we can help each other with. One of them is apprenticeship referrals. And really, I'm just looking forward to being part of a group and having that sort of support mechanism. I know you're all feeling it already. I'm pretty new, but it'll be lovely to have a support mechanism around me that I can take it to that next level. So yeah, really looking forward to it. Very busy, but really looking forward to it. So I hope I'll meet you in the future in person. Yeah, all the best to everybody.
That was brilliant, Diane. Well done. Week 2, well done. Congratulations, and a big welcome to the group. And we all hope to meet with you face to face at some point. I think we want to get back to that. So that's brilliant. So quickly, because I think we've got about just under 20 minutes left, moving to some questions. One of the obvious questions that's coming through that's on people's minds is certainly around COVID. So if I could move to you, Paul, first, if that's okay, and just explain what the impact of COVID has been on Robinsons and how Robinsons has responded to the current COVID situation.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, at the end of March, we had to obviously go on lockdown. So the business furloughed of our 79 staff, all bar 6, and we sort of remained open on a sort of skeleton staff basis. So we were still receiving inquiries, still able to sell caravans. In fact, it surprised me actually with everything that was going on in the world that people still had the appetite to buy caravans. We brought everybody back off furlough and we officially reopened back to normal, well, you can call it normality, on the 1st of June. And we've seen a real demand from our customer base, I guess, with travel restrictions out there. Perhaps it's encouraging more people to think about holidaying in the UK, and there's certainly been a spike in the number of sales that we've seen in caravans and motorhomes. Typically this time of year, we would expect to be probably doing around about 300 grand's worth of gross profit in a month, and in the first 2 weeks of July we've done over 200. So we're on for a really strong June, and we hope and believe that that demand will continue.
Fantastic, thank you. Gary, if I can go over to you from a construction industry point of view, you know, how has de Boulay managed the current COVID situation?
With regards to de Boulay, we the industry which has been affected obviously has been restaurants, and it will be the last one to come back. That is no question about that. However, majority of our clientele, as I mentioned, are the big blue chip companies who are already looking at options of how to come back and working with our teams to see. So we are generating work from that perspective as to helping our clients to opening their restaurants, opening their outfits back to trading, and what the layout looks like. We had secured some work before the COVID happened. We had some unfinished projects as well, so we are finishing those through. But yes, I would say that the decision making has slowed a bit as well, because a lot of the teams, and Ian and Kevin, you will support me on that one, would be a lot of the teams have been furloughed. So the decisions which would have been made in 2 weeks time after the tender submissions are taking longer than expected. However, it's by no means stopped at this point in time, because also the government is helping out for the businesses. So in fact, with some of the restaurants, we are noticing that because of the government help and because the staff has been furloughed, they have enough capital expenditure now set in the business to do some more projects. So yeah, it's a place to watch and see, but so far it's been okay.
Good, thank you for that. And Alan, if I can move to you from an education point of view, you know, I know you pivoted your business really quickly to respond to the COVID situation, but just so you could share with everyone how you responded and Parenta responded.
Yeah, gladly. I think for us, COVID's actually been positive if we can go beyond the human tragedy. What it enabled us to do is very quickly see new opportunities which we hadn't seen before. And perhaps more importantly, we saw ways to run our business much more efficiently and effectively than we had done before. And the net result of that is we've pivoted significantly, as suggested. We've managed to lower our cost base by probably in excess of £500,000, and just reworked every aspect of the business. You know, the old way of working was having tutors driving around the country in cars, and we recognise that that's very dated. And I don't think without COVID, we would have seen that opportunity beforehand. So we've recognised that we can do the vast majority of our training online now. And not only does that make our cost of delivery cheaper, but it seems that our customers are much happier with that as well. So we've done those things, lowered costs across the board. And yeah, I think if you can get beyond the human tragedy, as I said, it's going to be a very productive opportunity. We've described it as a Control-Alt-Delete on the business. An opportunity to reset and find better ways of doing things. And I think that's a good description of what we've done.
Yeah, brilliant. Thanks for that. And Vikki, if I can move and ask you, obviously being a care home, I'll unmute you, but yeah, being over in the care sector, in the care home, how has Samuel Hobson responded, and you know, how are they dealing with the COVID situation?
Yeah, so I suppose you've all heard in the media, care homes were sort of the last ones to be thought of in terms of the government's guidance and everything like that. We decided at Samuel Hobson to lock down a lot earlier than other care homes in the area. I think it was just over 2 weeks before the government decided to put everyone in lockdown. And fortunately, we've had no cases within the home. Nobody's been symptomatic or anything like that. We also made sure we got hold of PPE early enough. So we made sure that we knew what we needed and we got hold of it, and we had good links with our suppliers, and we maintained them good links as well. One thing that we did find is that it's the staff's well-being that we had to nurture a bit more. They were expected to do a lot more, very uncertain times for them. They're not used to wearing masks and things. So it was just important for them, just for reassurance and just check on the well-being to make sure it's okay. But in terms of business, we're so busy. If I remember last week, I asked you if I can have an extension on the home because we're having referrals just coming through all the time, daily. And as well as that, now the funding for the beds has also increased. So whereas before the rates were lower, they're now offering up to £100 more per bed. So yeah, we've managed it really well, and I'm really proud of the team here.
Well done. I'm sure all the construction guys will now be pitching to build an extension to Samuel Hobson House. So thanks for that, Vic. We've got a question coming through that is talking about how companies are collaborating together and how the companies have been working together in the group and what that collaboration looks like. So could I move to you, Kevin, and ask you, what your experience of collaborative working within MBH has been like so far?
Yeah, sure. So it's been a sort of unexpected surprise to me, is working together with some of the other construction companies. We've worked together in lots of instances. I mean, we're currently working on all of our terms and conditions. We've all got our own terms and conditions and how we work with those, and we're grouping them together so that we can get together a more robust and coercive set of terms and conditions that we could all work with going forward. And again, it saves us on costs rather than the solicitors charging us £10,000 per company. We're splitting the cost between the three of us. And again, some of their clients, some of the projects that we're looking at, if we're too busy, we can pass jobs along to different companies. So yeah, it's been a great bonus as far as I'm concerned, working together. And just some of the ideas. Previously, if I got into a room with some construction companies, you'd be talking about how you work things, but you'd all be very, very guarded about how we work. But it's great. We can share all of our experiences, can share all of our trade secrets with each other. And knowing that I'm quite happy for the Boulay, Gaysha to win a project as much as Guildprime. So it's just great all working together.
Yeah, that's brilliant. And I feel exactly the same way. And I know we meet every couple of weeks, but I think during this situation in particular, I think COVID really enhanced the benefits of that collaborative working and pulling together and the strength of us as a team. So I can completely support that. Paul, what's been your experience so far with collaborative working?
Yeah, obviously we were the first business in the leisure sector to join MBH. So I guess my expectations prior to coming into MBH was actually that there probably wouldn't be huge amounts of collaboration because there wasn't another business inside MBH that was the same in the same space as us. But actually, I've been really surprised at how we've been able to create some opportunities. So, for example, I'm working with Ian at the moment on a tactical acquisition that he has become aware of, where they actually make motorhomes, and if we could bring them in, obviously that would give us a greater margin in terms of if we were able to sell them. And Ian, being from a construction background, has access to the supply chain, so for example timber, electrics, that sort of stuff. So I didn't think prior to coming into MBH that I'd end up with that sort of opportunity, and just really sharing good ideas and being able to bounce ideas off other like-minded people, I think has probably helped propel the business a bit further forward than maybe if we were doing this on our own. So just by having that sort of ability to collaborate, I think has been really, really valuable. Yeah,
I can completely agree with that. So another question coming through, and this is really one for you, Ben, is what are your future plans with UK sports, and what do you see for your industry, the sport industry as a wider point?
Yeah, I think the ultimate goal for us, sort of 3 to 5 years financially, be the 400k EBITDA. I think to get there, we need to rinse and repeat the current services we've got. So we can offer secondary courses, and we have done it in the past. So I want to make sure the main service, the PT courses, there's so much room to scale. So I think we need to add on sort of 5 or 6 sites across the UK. And it won't take us beyond much of the capacity that we've got now. It's a couple of extra tutors. So I think once we do that, then we can look at more CPD and smaller courses for like the secondary sale and to enhance the PT's career. So yeah, I think we're growing quite strong. Long term, we could look at a facility. I think generally gyms will be okay after this pandemic. I think a lot of people are realising they can train at home now without the gym membership. But what people are losing is their social life. Around here, people are at the gym 4 or 5 hours. So they meet up after in the canteen. There's more to it than just working out. So I think gyms in general will be fine. Maybe a small independent may struggle, but the larger gym chains, say, are catering for the whole lifestyle. So they'll be fine, and we sort of grow with them. So we've got access to some of the biggest clubs around the country now. So I think we can scale pretty quickly. So for us, yeah, we rinse and repeat in our current services, but then adding in secondary courses to grow and becoming more sort of holistic with our training courses we can offer.
Brilliant. So yeah, so we are getting close to the end, and thanks for that, Ben. I'm sure that UK sports is going to keep us all a lot healthier, and I think the UK could certainly do with that at the moment when we come out of COVID. So thank you for that. So as we're getting close to the end, what I really wanted to do, what I would like to do is if I could just ask everybody just to summarise in a few words, and I'll go round everyone, just how everybody's feeling about the future, everyone's feeling about MBH, just to give people an idea of I suppose the feel across the group at the moment from the companies in there. So can I start with you, Alan? You know, how are you feeling at the moment about the future and MBH?
Nothing but excitement. I think the opportunities which we found on our own just by being forced to stop the business for a short period of time and rethinking things have been quite profound. So the opportunities for Parenta in and of itself are very strong this year. But being part of MBH adds to that. We're still actively looking for tactical acquisitions, and as they come on board, that will strengthen what we're doing. So yeah, looking forward to a very strong second half of the year and really building into next year. I think that will be stronger still. So very positive.
Brilliant, thank you. And Gary, how are you feeling about the future?
Excitement, as Alan said. Sorry to piggyback on the word you used, Alan, but that's the same feeling. I guess the one point which has recently been highlighted, certainly for me personally, and I hope it resonates with everyone, is, you know, when times are difficult, what we have all experienced, it's that time when the true testament of the relationship comes forward, and that has been quite key, definitely for me, because it's for small businesses, it's a lonely place sometimes when you're trying to lead everyone and make the decisions, keep the jobs going, bring revenue in. So having a team of people around you to have the positivity to bounce ideas has been quite instrumental, and that also proves that what value it brings in the future as well when things are, you know, looking forward and looking good. So yeah, very exciting.
Brilliant, thank you. And Kevin, how are you feeling about the future?
Yeah, it's pretty much the same. Yes, all very much re-energised. It's just been so fantastic, the new project that we're tendering for. We have broken through the ceiling with a lot of our clients. With the value of the tenders that we're tendering for at the moment are, yeah, sort of 5, 6, 7 times what we were tendering for previously, and we're in very good positions with these tenders. So yeah, it's all looking very, very positive.
Brilliant. And Vikki, over to you with Samuel Hobson.
No, really positive for the future. I mean, obviously with the COVID, it's highlighted the social care sector just massively. So we're hoping to grow, look at other areas, sort of domiciliary care, perhaps on looking at other care facilities that we can take on. So we're just looking forward to growth for that, Samuel Hobson.
Fantastic, thank you. And Ben?
Yeah, really excited. I mean, just seeing the companies here. So obviously we're clearly a small fish, big pond here, but just to be around them companies, it's only going to grow us and strengthen us. So yeah, more than excited, and yeah, looking forward to these calls next year, see where we're all at.
Yeah. And Paul?
Yeah, I echo the thoughts of everybody else, really. I think I'm very excited about the future. I think the industry with COVID presents an opportunity to grow both organically, but I think MBH is a really great platform to enable us to acquire other operators in the leisure industry. So yeah, really excited about the future.
Brilliant. And Di, I know you've only been with us a couple of weeks, but how are you feeling about the future?
Just like everybody else, really positive, just getting on with it, taking it a day at a time. And somebody just said something earlier that COVID really has made me think outside the box. Sometimes you're on a momentum, you've got a plan, and then something comes along, you know, this world pandemic like this, and it makes you think and about how you run your business and how you can adapt. And I don't think I fully would go back to how I did things before. So I do see it as an opportunity to grow, and if we can get through this, we can do anything.
Yeah.
So
completely agree. Yeah. And from my perspective, the way I'm feeling at the moment is I absolutely love working in this group. I love working with this bunch of intelligent people who all with this shared vision and goal. And yeah, I'm so excited. And you know, I kind of echo what Ben says. It'll be interesting in a year's time when we sit here on another call and we look back and just see how much we've all moved, because we've moved such a lot since you know, listing. And you know, Alan was involved in actually getting the company listed and going through that IPO process. So, you know, it's been a longer journey for some. So the future is certainly looking bright and exciting. So yeah, that has taken us a couple of minutes over time. So thank you to everybody for their patience. A thank you to Alan from Parenta and Gary from Boulay Contracts, Kevin from Guildprime, Ian from Gaysha, Ben from UK Sports, Vikki from over at Samuel Hobson, Paul from over at Robinson's Caravan, and Diane, our newest addition from Logistica Training. Next time, hopefully, we won't be going through every single name because there will be so many of us. I won't have time to do it within the hour. But thank you all very much. And thank you to everybody that submitted their questions and joined us today for this event. We do hope you found it useful. We are planning to do this quarterly. So our next one will be in September. So hopefully we will see you all again then. Take care and stay safe, everybody. Thank you.
Thanks, Vikki.
Thanks, everybody.
Find out more today at mbhcorporation.com.